when Mr. Williams over there had to make a very vulgar comment to my 15-year-old. When I confronted him about it and I told him not to talk to my son like that again, he said the same thing to me.
All right, you got into a fight?
A big fight over it, and I did go to jail over it because he looked worse than I did, to tell you the truth. I got the better end of the deal on him. And it was the day before Terry's birthday.
He spent your birthday in jail?
And my son did too.
And what happened to the charges?
They ended up being dropped.
Who didn't pursue them? Your neighbor
Mr.
here?
Ellis. Yeah.
Then what? Then you became friends again?
Well, yeah, you know, you got to live with people, okay? And he lived 10 houses up from me, so I got to get along with my neighbors. I don't have to love them.
When did you resume your friendly, neighborly relationship?
Right before school session.
In May. Terry and Jennifer started talking about babysitting because Jennifer has kids that she needed to be babysat in summertime.
Okay. Is that right that you and Terry started talking about babysitting?
We had started talking about rekindling the friendship, and she started babysitting for us around May 15th.
Okay, and what was the deal on that? What were you supposed to get paid?
It was $10 a day for 3 hours. They got off the bus. I babysat from 4 to about 6:30 when she got off work.
You agree with that?
Yes.
And then when the school let out, what did you do? Babysit them all day long?
5 days a
12
week.
hours a day, Your Honor.
$125 a week.
Okay.
Eventually came the first. She told me that she was going to pay me the rest of my money on the first. The first rolled around. No, Jennifer, never got paid.
She got paid $130.
Okay, so you're telling me she got paid. She's telling me you owe her $710.
Yes, ma'am.
That's quite a discrepancy.
I have it
She
in
here.
didn't
writing.
watch them long enough to get that much. I mean,
Your Honor, she watched them for 6 weeks, 12 hours a day, and fed them breakfast, lunch, and dinner and snacks.
We made-
She entertained these kids like
June,
they were
July.
our own.
Okay.
We
Are
made
you still,
blueberry
when did it
muffins.
stop?
July 1st is when it stopped because they were supposed to come on the 1st and pay, and they didn't show up till the 3rd, and when they did show up, they only paid her $40.
Was there something else? Are you saying something about a car incident?
Well,
Damages to your car?
Yes,
What was
ma'am.
that about?
During the process of this, of her babysitting, I checked my brake fluid, okay? And it was low. And I asked Joe if he had any brake fluid. And he said, yeah. And he brought a bottle down to me. It's this bottle right here. It didn't have a label
He gave that
on
bottle
it.
to you?
Yes, ma'am, this bottle right here. And I looked at it without a label on it. I said, Joe, are you sure this is brake fluid? And he said, yes. At that time, he was going to school to be a mechanic. Okay, and so I took his word as a mechanic, and I put about this much in the master cylinder. And 2 days later, my braking system locked
Put
up.
this much in?
That's all it
A
took.
little bit.
Yeah.
Did you take it to the repair shop?
I had an estimate of repair done.
Did they tell you what it was that you put in
Yes.
there?
Well, no, they couldn't exactly do a breakdown of the chemicals on it. They said it was a contaminated fluid, and it didn't even look like brake fluid to them.
What was the estimate on the car?
Actually, it was $1,600 or $1,700 for the parts.
Okay, so you won $400 for a car rental. What's that about?
It's what I call the ghetto mobile.
The ghetto mobile.
It's a
What's a ghetto mobile?
1991 Lincoln Town car. And yes, that sounds nice, but when
What
you...
is it, a 91?
Lincoln Town car. Faded paint, torn seats. You got to
No
put 15
AC.
gallons of water in it a day.
Every
And
day.
you had to rent a car because you needed to do it,
Yeah, I
a car
had
to
to
go
get
to
to
work.
Yeah.
Actually, Your Honor, I had to pay this lady $400 for this car to borrow it until January until I get
We
money to
rented it.
buy another vehicle.
When he asked you for brake fluid, and you said you got 2 of these cans,
my
unlabeled.
impression was that they were brake fluid. I mean, I buy all my brake fluid or radiator
And
fluid.
they come unlabeled?
No, I got 3 kids that get in my car and they tear my car up. The labels weren't on there, man, and I was.
You
in
let
the-
your kids play with
No, they
these
get into the
fluids and
car.
things like that?
Floorboard.
They were in the floorboard
Sitting in the back of the
and
floorboard.
in
But
the back floorboard.
you just were telling me that your kids could have been playing with this fluid and other dangerous, contaminated
What if they would've
stuff,
drank
whatever
it?
it is.
I thought it was brake fluid.
You thought it was big fluid.
Yes, ma'am.
But you know what? It wasn't. And you know what I think, based on what I've heard? That the 2 of you are not very organized. Someone who makes nasty remarks to 15-year-old kids.
I've never-
Someone who lets their kid play with who knows what kind of fluids. Someone who offers their neighbor, their friend, and something that is going to damage their car, okay, is not a very responsible person. It also doesn't make you a very nice person.
Your Honor?
So let me just say something, okay? Stop talking because you're winning. And so I am going to actually render judgment for the plaintiff. I hold you responsible for the damage to his car. I believe that they're telling me the truth about the babysitting. He's entitled to the damages for his car rental because otherwise he couldn't work. So I am going to award the plaintiff's judgment in the amount of $2,882.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Judge Lopez.
Thank you.